Hello guys, there are two types of house I think you should not buy when you want to buy a house here in Italy. Number one is a house that is old. It is not advisable for you to buy a house that is too old. Then the number two is a house that is far from town. Some of us who want to buy house will go and buy a house where in a community where there is no train, where there is no bus, where there is no tangible development in that area. I will explain why you should not buy those two type of house. Now, number one is a house that is too old. When you buy a house that is too old, that house will constantly be giving you problem, except you have money to do a massive renovation before packing into that house. Else, if you pack into that house like that, before you know, you start spending money here and there. Today the toilet will block. Next tomorrow, when you are taking your bath, the water will not be flowing because the pipe is blocked. You go and buy one chemical to through the pipe, you turn inside the pipe to through it, it will work. Before you know, after 2 months it will block again. You go and call one plumber because that pipe, this pipe has been there for the past 100 years, so you don't expect those pipe to still be efficient compared to a house that was built 10 years ago. So there will be need for you to be spending money here. There are some houses you just on microwave, the whole light will trip off. You will think you did not pay light bill, you actually paid light bill. It's just that some of the wire in the wall, they are already weak because this wire, they are over 100 years old. So you don't expect it to be that efficient like that. While some house, it will old house, it will also require you to heat the house very well. If not, you'll be having muffa. You see some house, you enter, the roof will be black, one side will be black, the wall will be wet because the house is old and you need a lot of heat to be able to solve such problems. So heating the house very well will also cost you more money. Now, while some houses, the window, you still have those old type of window that does not hold cold, so the house will be very cold compared to the type of house down there they see now that have this normal window with the double glass. That one also prevent cold. So if you still have the old type of window, you will need more energy to be able to heat the house. So if you don't have roof problem today, you will have a toilet problem tomorrow. You will not have toilet problem tomorrow, you will have the tap is not running well because the pipe is rust over 100 years. So there's a need for you to avoid old house if you want to buy a house and have peace. Now the second one is, if you buy a house in a community that is too far from town, you might be having difficulties when you want to sell that house tomorrow. You might say, don't worry, in the next 20 years this area will open. No, in Italy it does not work like that. You that is watching me now, you can testify that the way your commune is 20 years ago is still the same way your commune is today. Like where I'm staying, where the train station is 20 years ago is still where the train station is. The number of houses that we have here 20 years ago are still the number of houses that we have today. I have never seen them construct new house in the commune where I stay, except for 2 3 companies that they've been able to build. So Italy does not actually develop like Nigeria. Nigeria, you can go and buy land inside one bush. After 5 years, the whole place will open. Italy is not like that. The way your commune is 20 years ago is still the way the commune is. So if you have that mentality that the whole area will open, you'll be deceiving yourself. So tomorrow when you want to sell that house, it might also affect the price and it might be very, very difficult for you to even get buyer. And our children that we have today might not be interested in this type of houses that we are buying now, because some of us, the houses that we are buying are second-hand houses. Some of us even bought fourth-hand houses. When the house was built, an Italian man bought it. He later sold it for Indian man. Indian man sold it for Ghana man. Before Ghana man now sold it to you. So for town house. So our children might not be interested in this type of house. So if you now go and buy a house in a place that is very far, your children might end up selling that type of house. And if they also want to sell it, they might not sell it for good price because the location is not favorable. So you should also put all these things into consideration. So it is better for you to buy a house in an open place. Maybe you just pay additional 10,000 euros or 20,000 euros to it. It is better instead of you going to buy a house where there's no train, there's no bus, which will also depreciate the price if you are not careful. Thank you and God bless you.